Charge while you sleep. Charge while you sleep. I think you'll find that most of us evangelists charge at home. We don't use the public charging network. We pay a whole lot more for our electricity at home. Well, you're not going to be doing for much longer, because you're going to be paying a whole lot more to charge your EV at home. Now, if you're new to the channel, do me a favour, hit the subscribe button, smug face by the way, and click the little bell for notifications of when I upload new videos. Now, while you're cutting the crusts off of your sandwiches, let's go. You drove electric to be green, but he'll still find a way to take your green, 'cause he's the tax man. Oh yeah, he's the tax man. I told all you evangelists who are charging at home and banging on about saving money, charging at home, I said, maybe, just maybe, that one day your smart meters will differentiate your car from your kettle and you will be taxed more for charging your car. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about it. Let's find somewhere a little bit more comfortable than standing in front of this car charger, because it's got another 5 or 6 hours before this is charged up. So let's head over there. Come on. Smug face, smug face. But I ditched the pump when full EV, and now they want a tax from me, 'cause he's the tax man. He is the tax man. I'll stop the singing. I'm just happy. I'm just smug. See? Keep cutting them crusts off, and don't forget, have a little bit of Battenberg as well. But I should drive my EV for free, 'cause I'm saving air and trees, you see, Mr. Taxman. Right, enough of that. Let's get down to business. But I have said to you before, time and time again, that eventually all you evangelists will pay for this. Let me just straighten you up there. Now, there is an article here, and I will be sensible for a moment, all right? This is from The Telegraph. Now, take whatever you see in the mainstream media with a pinch of salt. This is not my view. This is not my opinion. I am literally just reading you something from The Telegraph. So, it could be right, it could be wrong. All I'm doing is reading it from the newspaper, right? So I'm going to read you it and let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And I will say, by the way, evangelists, I have met a lot of you and you're all very, very nice. Can't we just all get on together? Right, so this is in the Telegraph. Punish electric car owners who charge at peak times, Miliband urged. And I affectionately called Miliband Miliband. Miliband sounds good, doesn't it? Miliband. Think tank calls for variable electricity tariffs to encourage drivers to plug in overnight. So what they're actually doing is they don't want you particularly to charge your car in the daytime, even though it does take hours on end to charge. And also I will say, if you've got more than one electric car in the family, some people will need to charge in the daytime who work from home, etc. So electric car owners should pay higher electricity bills for charging their cars at peak times. Now, if you're an EV owner, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section. Being sensible for once. Do you agree with this or do you disagree with it? And also non-EV owners as well. The Resolution Foundation has said, the think tank said electric vehicle EV owners should be charged more for plugging in their cars in the evenings and should be charged more for plugging in their cars in the evenings to encourage them to charge overnight instead. There we go. That's not right, is it? The think tank should be charged more for plugging in their cars in the evenings to encourage them to charge overnight instead. Have I read that right? They need to be charged more for in the day, don't they? and encouraged to charge overnight. Maybe I've got that wrong. Anyway, delivering electricity to households and businesses at peak times, especially between 4:30 and 8 p.m, is around twice as expensive as other times of the day. Despite this, electricity costs the same regardless of when it's used, with the extra cost of delivery spread across the day. The Resolution Foundation warned that the mass adoption of EVs could make the system untenable, as a surge in people topping up their cars when they get home from work would lead to a huge spike in delivery costs that would make bills far higher for everyone. So maybe you non-EV owners will agree with this. Why should non-EV owners be paying extra for EV owners who are charging their cars at home? I want both sides of the view here. As EV adoption grows, owners who don't shift their significant energy usage will push up peak demand, imposing greater costs on the system and inflating bills for everyone else, the think tank said. It is calling for the government to axe the energy price cap for EV owners who use too much electricity and instead introduce variable prices. This would in effect mean that they would pay higher prices for charging in the evening. Higher prices for charging in the evening, encouraging drivers to charge their vehicles late at night instead. See what they're doing when they get home from work. That's how I read it now. So you'll be charged more if you plug in when you get home from work. You're going to have to basically have your dinner, watch TV, wait, try not to fall asleep, then go outside and charge your car before you go to bed, and do that. And don't forget, because if you forget, then you're not going to be able to go anywhere in the morning. I will also say, if your car is really low, sometimes it can take, well, it takes me sometimes to charge on a slow charger like that at home, 8-9 hours. So you're going to have to charge when you get home. This is untenable. To ensure households with EVs and other technologies that can use electricity in off-peak times to do so, government should give a strong nudge to consumers by setting a usage limit above which Ofgem's current fixed tariff price cap would not apply, and shifting these households onto variable tariffs instead, the foundation said. Zachary Leather, author of the report, said, "We're transitioning to a different kind of energy system, one where we need demand to respond a bit more to the supply of energy. Wind and solar and other kinds of renewables are variable rather than being able to be turned off and on at will. So that means that we need more flexibility into the system." He said EV owners who charged only during off-peak hours would not only lower their average bills for the country as a whole, but also save money themselves. The typical EV owner would be able to save save £120 annually by charging overnight. I've got to say though, that's going to be really annoying. I said earlier on, you need to charge when you get home. Some people don't get home till 5-6 o'clock. They plug in. I've got home before, when I had a home back with a charger on it, and I've plugged in. I've not plugged in and I've forgotten, got up the next morning and thought, oh no, I had to go to a charger. You want to charge when you pull up on your driveway. You don't want to go in, have your dinner, then come back out and charge. It's annoying. All of these people with lots of really high energy use are the kind of households that are likely to be able to contribute to cheaper bills by flexing that energy use. So they're wanting people who are better off to pay for everybody else, in my opinion. Zonal pricing. Now this is interesting. The call for EV drivers to be punished for charging their cars at peak times through higher bills is part of a wider review of potential changes to the electricity market, including shifting to so-called zonal pricing. So dependent upon where you live, you're going to be punished. This would see Britain's energy market broken up into different regions, with electricity prices in each areas based on local supply and demand. Here's a chart from the Telegraph Nothing to do with me. This is the Telegraph. Thank you very much. There we go. That's your zonal pricing. Zonal pricing already exists in several countries, including Australia. I know I've got a lot of Australian viewers. Let me know in the comments section what you think down below. Italy and Sweden adopting it in Britain, however, could prove controversial as it poses higher bills for households and businesses in the south of England, where demand is greatest. Well, obviously, you're not going to charge more up north because we're tighter and we're not going to give it you. Ed Miliband, the Energy Secretary, is considering whether to adopt a zonal system. Why are we putting this complete buffoon in charge of anything? And I'm not political, I just think the guy is a bit of a cockwomble. In fact, if you look under the dictionary, it says cockwomble, Ed Miliband. The Resolution Foundation said an energy system which varied, to try and get sensible again, prices by region and time of day would offer household savings of £200 a year on average. However, families who cannot avoid using higher amounts of energy in the evening risk being punished by the reforms, the think tank warned. Mr. Leather said the government should encourage households with flexible but high energy use technologies like electric vehicles to shift their electricity usage out of the peak time early evening period so as to reduce both theirs and other people's energy bills. But it must also act to avoid the reforms penalising low-income households with unavoidable and inflexible electricity needs. A spokesman for the Department for Energy Security and Net Zero said, we are working closely with industry to build a more flexible energy system as part of our mission to deliver clean power by 2030. Off-peak tariffs already offer savings of around 75pc for electric vehicle owners when they charge overnight, in a strong incentive to make the most of cheap off-peak power. Now, as I say, that is from the Telegraph. I'll put the link in the description down below. You don't have to sign up, by the way. You can just pop in your email address. Some people will go, oh, you've got to sign up for it and pay for it. You can read it for free if you do the whatever, put your email address in. Now, I will say, I've said, originally at the beginning of all these videos, and I could be right, I could be wrong, and it's only my opinion, and I could be totally wrong, but I have said that I feel like a politician now, don't I, doing that? I need to stop that. What is it, Tony Blair used to do that? I have said, they all do this, don't they? They don't point, they all do that. I did say that these smart meters, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, could go, smart meter, it's a car, we're going to tax you X amount. Because the government are losing money on the tax income from petrol cars and diesel cars. They've got to recoup that tax somehow. So are they, and will they, go down the route of using a smart meter? Is it possible to do that? Are smart meters that smart? Are smart meters that smart to differentiate a car from a kettle? Let me know in the comments section. I'm just a humble guy who walks around with a phone on a stick, so what do I know? And as I've said before, I do have a little dig at electric car owners and EV owners, and I own one myself, evangelists as I like to call them, but every evangelist that I've met have always been nice. And I will say, the world's a cruel place at the moment. Let's just all be nice to each other. A car's a car, an EV is a car at the end of the day, but it does grind my gears, if I had any, because I've got an electric car, when governments dangle carrots to you and say you can have stuff for free and go in an electric car because it's greener, or go in an electric car because it's going to cost you less money, and then they whack you with the taxes, and that's what really winds me up. So let's all have a little discussion in the comment section down below and tell me what you think. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I've got to head off now because I've got to go and have my sandwiches with the crust cut off and a little slice of Battenberg. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. It is free, and if you've got any news stories or anything that you'd like to say, pop it in the comment section. Anyway, my car's not going to be ready now for another 5 hours. Oh well, see you in a bit.